recording, so that's that done. I'll do that. Right. Remember rightly, you had the meet and greet. If I remember rightly, was it Pierre and Marchese, rather than going as they planned, stayed? So they're not going. Some of you got some letters at the start. I think Felix got something that his detective agency and the inspector, something he was being watched by the FBI. Other people had, someone was arriving in a few days' time. The meet and greet, a lot happened, if I remember rightly. You talked to various people. I think you met the sinister lady. I think it was Felix and one other person went over to talk to her. I forgot who it was.
Dante, I believe.
Yeah, and Dante went over and talked to her. Discovered she was very cagey about what she did.
She was a cleaner.
She was a cleaner. Yes.
I wasn't trying to insult her, but I said, "You're a cleaner," and she went, "No, it was something similar to, no offence meant, but you're a cleaner."
Yeah.
And she said, "Yes, I am." So.
Oh yeah, speaks with a German accent, so that's it. I think Felix talked to one of the old guard, as in, was it who was it? I'll go back to the camera numbers, I can never remember his name.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right. You all went blank for a minute.
Oh dear. That's it, you went and talked to Sebastian, who turned out to be an Irish dandy, who was hauntingly familiar.
There was a captain as well, wasn't there, who's the Pony Express guy?
One Pony Express guy. You met the fundraiser to do with the gallery, to do with Le Salon de Delicate Supernatural. You find out afterwards he was a member of the group of the Comte Charles, or the Count Charles. You met with the gentleman from New York. Was it? I think. So let's get down here. Where are we? He's independent. You met with Gabriel. Who was it? Someone who else was interested in? Was it in finance? You met the Captain Carty, who was the to do with the Pony Express. Basically described it as a way to get messages from A to B without going through, was it the internet or the post. Basically it's a secured one. You had a talk, some guys had a talk with the masked gentleman who was here to hunting the Black Madonna.
Is there any way that I might remember anything that was on his mask?
No, it was plain. It was plain white.
Was it blank?
Yeah, it was plain white.
Right.
Yeah, as it is as his picture was. And he was Hector. That's all in the thing. So it is as his picture. It was a plain white mask. Yeah, I think he did put himself down as a harbinger of Ashur.
Yes.
Which would have been the harbingers of skulls at one point, but when they joined the Hector they changed their name slightly. The prince did a nasty visit, just to get everybody on his knees. He came with at least 2 of his own archons. You got introduced to Ewan Dunson, member of the Azantai, the council of the Hector, a very powerful Hector. You witnessed the Marchese not get on with the incumbent of Giovanni. nearly got to fisticuffs. I think was it?
I don't think my fibre was up on that one.
Yep. What was it? I think William talked to the to Nosferatu.
After a bit of snooping around, she came and found me, and yeah, had a nice chat. She told me where to find the other Nosferatu.
That's it.
Which was good.
It is good. I think it was Stanford University, which is in the south
Down
side.
south.
Yeah, down south in the near Silicon Valley. So it's a good half an hour to an hour's drive, depending on how the freeways are going. I think the major one is you met was, I think the end was the major bit which we need to go through, is you met with the committee, was it the Count, was it Charles and his protege, which was it Dante, was it sort of stood up to him because he was rude to, was it William. Which sort of pushed him to a point he had to reveal to at least William and Renata who he actually was. To you guys, he's Theodore, and you know and if I remember rightly, you know who Theodore is. You sort of did the dirty on him with the spat in Chicago some 10 years ago, 10 to 20 years ago. You did it. There was him, and there's another guy called Gabriel. You
Was
both.
that in Cairo?
Oh yes, in the park.
Yes.
Yeah, oh, yes. You did the dirty on him, good and proper.
Was Cairo before Berlin or after Berlin? I can't
No. These guys have never been to Berlin.
No, but like in timeline wise.
Timeline.
Before Berlin.
Before Berlin. Cool.
He escaped. Was it Theodore, and was his very hard? Was it pinned down? Yes, it was. Actually, that was a quite entertaining scene because it was a lot of standing up, and he stormed out. After which point, the Marchese told the Marchese he was dangerous, and he stopped. He unusually stopped the party, said everybody to go, and everybody went. And you had the rest of the evening to yourselves to sit there and discuss what you were going to do or not do. It's actually fairly late, so it's probably better if you wandered off towards your own havens for the evening. So it's the next day, and strangely, you actually get various bits and pieces given you at the start of the day. So let me find the folders for you. Pardon me, would you all make your hunger roll, please? On the, let's see, do it on the role playing channel so I can sit there, and if anybody has any. Oh dear. I don't think it actually means anything on there. That's 1 hunger point. 2 was it, Philip? 1 to you. I told you.
The one now.
Same with Dante.
I mean, I was due. That's the first
2
point
now.
received. Yeah.
You're on 2. Yeah, remember that this one's easy to get rid of, it's the other one that's difficult. I just need it from Felix and Renata.
Yeah, I'm just
It should be 2, you take the best. And you actually do the same with your first level, was it I think blood potency 1 and 2, I think it's first when you get 2 dice. You're fine. But Renata's fine.
I've had to do mine in my channel. For some reason, I can't swap from it onto the role-playing channel.
Yeah. Let me have a look to see what the permissions are. See if they haven't. Well, you should be able to. Yeah, you should be able to. Well, there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Discord and Roll20 have been a bit glitchy though.
They have. Yeah, you're fine. Let me have a look quickly to see. I'm just going to check something quickly just to make sure I haven't lost a membership.
I just go onto my symbol in role-playing channel. It just ask me to do my profile again.
It is being glitchy now. It should be fine. I don't know. Oh well. Worst comes to worst, if it keeps playing up, we'll go to the out of
Profile sheet.
That is a little unusual. Yeah, no, there's something wrong with this server, because on the other one, on my other machine, it's generally playing up. As in, it's graphically playing up. Something's got corrupted in the server. Don't know what. Anyway, regardless of that, there's only 3 of you have got hunger, so you're up to 2. So when you now roll 2 hunger dice.
You hear me? Oh.
Yeah.
Everyone dropped out there, I think.
Yeah, it went really
It is. I don't think I've got issues my end.
No, I think it's Discord.
I think it is. I think Discord is up due for an update. Oh dear, they've done an update and it hasn't settled. Figures, doesn't it? Oh, we've had this before. Right. Okay, so we'll start. So you wake up the next day in your various havens or hotels, and right now I'm going to remember how to do these. Okay, I'll go through the channels and give you the right letters, because there's 2 letters here. Upload file. Oh good grief, of course. I did the over the edge last time on here, so it's on the over the edge handouts. You weren't paranoid after over the edge at all. Right. Well, at least you've got you've got a lead now. Handout, so it's number 1, that one. I'll do these 2 first because they're exactly the same. Number 1. Right. You get that letter. Right, I'll do you last. Number 2. File number 2. At least I don't have to print these off. Was it copies of them? At least I can do everything now. Comes the fun bit. Because was it Felix gets a report from the agency. That's it, yeah. And Felix gets a report from the agency to do with the inspector. Do you want to put this into the general channel, Felix, or do you want this put in the private first?
Private first, please.
Yeah. And that should be... Yep, there we are. And that's it. I just need to move. You'll be disappearing every few while into separate separate groups at the end. Don't worry about it, it is all part of what's going on. At the start it'll be all together. Right. I don't think it's going to be overly worrying that this is done in public. Philip, you wake up and your servant says, Ewan Dunson's servant has called today. He would like to meet him at the Chieftain Inn again at 1 a.m. this morning. He gave me no idea what it was about. So you have a meeting with Ewan.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I think you have approximately, if you read the letters, probably an hour before you need to be anywhere. And this warehouse where it is some distance away, and it's to the south in an area. If you look at the map, so you need to you need a car to get to where you need to get. And I think the area is a area of warehouses.
Well, I'd probably just book a taxi to a fairly similar, to a location nearby. I could then walk to the warehouse.
Yeah. It is. They all say the same, but it's just that there's slightly difference between those ones.
She would probably leave as soon as it's safe to do so. And then, well, go for a wander around the shopping centre for a bit. And
Yeah.
then get a taxi, just to check that no one's behind her. And there's the limited number of watchers who can get to the ladies' changing rooms, you know, you can look out the back.
Yeah, as far as you can see, you're not being followed. Nothing untoward's happened in the day. Your servant didn't say they're doing that. You still haven't got any bodyguards as such. Anything you want to do in the background, as far as those things, you need to put in between games, and as last time. So if you've done nothing between, or as in doing in the background, you need to put that in the downtime. Right.
Cool.
And yep. Oh, excuse the spelling in those reports. Was it Felix? Or because my spelling's terrible.
No, don't worry, it's fine. You can put that report on
Yeah.
the common chat.
Yeah. I can. I'll put that onto the. Right. This is the report that was given. Yeah, it's nothing spectacular, to say the least.
No, but what it shows is a genuine, I think, he's doing exactly one thing and not maybe two or three different things. So, I think essentially we've got a reasonably honest man to deal with, as opposed to somebody who's more corruptible or corrupted.
And friends in high places.
Yeah, I go back to my earlier points. We want this guy to get back on the plane, preferably having found very little or nothing, or we find him answers that satisfy whatever is here, in sense, to take back to the politicians. The least the least disruption to that, I think the better. And to that point, I'm going to do my bit, so everybody knows, to protect him and to make sure he does get back on that plane.
I think he was.
Because, I mean, yeah, we don't plan on bumping him off, but if someone else discovers he's snooping around, offs him, that will cause a lot of problems for us and the Marchese.
Potentially, yes, but it's also the fact that San Francisco police are also watching him, as well as the FBI. So he's not
got that far in reading yet.
He's got quite a screen round him, and it might actually pay us to get him the information, or at least a portion of it that satisfies him enough to go somewhere else.
Right.
Oh, we lost Dave.
So what's everybody else? What's everybody else doing before they go to the meeting? Is Dante going straight to the meeting, or is he going to do?
I'll get dressed.
Yeah.
I'll look passable, but probably not dressed to the nines. That'll draw attention.
Yep. So you're going to have a quiet start. And Philip, are you going to go do anything before you go to the meeting?
Nothing comes to mind at the moment.
That's fine. Philip does nothing. Same with the William.
I was just checking how far the walk is.
It's a long.
The St. Regis we're staying in.
You're in the central part. It's to the airport is 25 minutes, and it's south of the airport. So you're talking good.
Yeah.
You're 25.
2 hours.
Yeah, you're talking a long walk. So you need to get a lift or a taxi down there.
I will. Yeah, I'll get a taxi. Stop maybe 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
Obfuscate. Walk down a dark alley, and then walk a snaking path to try and, be triply safe of not being followed. I'll also wait obfuscated at the door and slip in behind the next person to arrive.
Right,
so I don't need to unobfuscate at risk of someone seeing me unobfuscate.
Yeah. Right. How's Dante getting the taxi, or is he driving there?
Dante will drive.
Yeah.
But we'll go for a nice long drive.
It will be. It'll be 25, half an hour, and it's nearly an hour's drive out of the town.
We'll go like an hour and a half early. Do a couple loops around.
Yeah.
All that jazz.
Right, right.
Can I just check to make sure no one's following William? Just to be
doubly sure. Yeah. Yeah, as far as you can tell, no one's following you.
Okay.
You guys do your various things, and probably William's probably there the first. If you get to the warehouse, there's a familiar figure standing outside the warehouse in a suit. Yeah, it is. He's standing there, just generally. He doesn't notice you, to be fair, and he's just looking. He's just looking generally a bit bored at the moment.
Good to know. I still got it.
Who will be next? Felix will probably be next. Followed probably Dante. Actually, Dante will be next because he's the one that's driven around a number of times. Where are you leaving your car, Dante?
Is there somewhere public I could park?
Yeah, there's a road out front. Oh, there's a park.
Out.
Yeah.
How posh your car is if it will stand out.
It's not that sort of neighbourhood. It is an industrial sort of neighbourhood, and the picture I saw of it, most American cars, if it just looks like a normal car, it won't stand out. To be fair.
Yeah, it's nothing posh.
If it's not posh, it won't stand out.
I'll park it amongst a bunch of other cars that are there.
Yeah.
Probably like the night shift workers or whatever. And then have a winding walk towards where I need to be.
Yeah. Right, you arrive at the door, and strangely there is a gentleman, a familiar, was it Puttanesca, standing outside. He sort of nods at you, opens the door, and sort of motions for you to go in. Do you go in?
Go in? Yeah, go in.
Yeah. And so Dante's there. Felix will be next. Are you going to be... Do you do the same when you get there?
Pretty much. Get a taxi to somewhere reasonably local. Probably about an hour early. Have a good bit of a wander around just to see the lay of the land, really.
It's just warehouse. It's just warehouses, and then there's typical, was it? Nothing special.
And literally arrive 5 minutes beforehand.
Right.
Stand in front of the big guy and smile nicely at him.
He just opens the door and motions you go in.
Go in.
And I think, are you going there directly, Philip? Or is it doing a circumvented route?
I'm going to be frank, I don't know why anyone would ask me to try sneaking around.
Ha! Right, so you go directly, yeah.
So I'm basically just I'm going to try to do it direct and hope I look like I have nothing to hide.
Yep, that's fine. Yep. You're driving, are you?
Driving part of the way and walking the maybe like last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
For the sake of argument.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, you get there. Was it the same gentleman in a suit? Nods at you, opens the door, and sort of motions you go in.
Yep, go in.
And I think the last to arrive will be Renata.
Yeah.
And yep, definitely sort of nods, open the door, and then you go. For the guys that get in there, right, the Marchese sort of nods at you and then motions as you come in to keep quiet. He's sort of sitting on a seat in the middle. Right, he's sitting on a seat in the middle of the warehouse, and it's a nice, plush seat. In front of him are two gentlemen standing on a plastic sheet. One, it's actually a fairly large plastic sheet. Either side of them, I think there are. Actually, there's three. Yeah, there are three very worried men standing on a plastic sheet. At the edge of the sheet there are 4 Puttanesca guards standing watching them. If you look around the building, there are a further 4 Puttanescas around the building. Some of them, 1 or 2 of them you don't recognise. And there's the creepy lady who's sitting on a set of boxes watching, the one you saw the evening before. who's watching, who seems to be watching the whole thing. She's not in a fancy dress, she's in very sort of practical clothes, as in, was it not tracksuit, easily burned, freedom of movement sort of thing, you'd figure out. Nothing special, as in if it gets ruined it won't matter to her. And once Renato appears, the Marchese goes, at last, everybody's here. Please just stand there. I have a little, was it, how you say, business to attend to first. And he basically turns towards the 3 royal gentlemen on the was it Matt, and in do any of you know German? No. And then in German you assume it sounds German. He will, was it sort of start to ask these gentlemen questions. The name Gabriella will be in there. Switzerland, actually no, you won't know that. I thought what Germans call Switzerland, but the Schweiz, yep, if you know that. Basically they're sort of sitting there looking very worried, making excuses, and the Marchese is basically shouting at them. It's basically he's dressing them down. You would, from what you gather, is these guys could be responsible for something. They could even be responsible for a disappearance.
Hey, was Gabriella the journalist?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay, so they're the ones responsible for our current
Yep.
problem.
He basically says something in German. The guys look at each other. He turns and says this in English. I need your services, Miss Wallenstein, to teach these gentlemen the price of failure. I'll dispose of the bodies after you've finished with them. And he sort of goes back and sits down, and she walks up, and one of the Puttanescas gets the camera out and he films what's about to happen. She walks up, and in remarkable speed, she breaks each of the gentlemen's necks in very quick succession. From those of you who know was it military manoeuvres, this is used by militaries to break people's necks. It's basically twist the head, that sort of thing, and the way she does it, she's very apt at it, and she certainly looks like she's had military training. The camera stopped, and she basically bares her fangs and she drinks heavily out of one of the gentlemen, of which the Puttanescas don't even bat at an eyelid at this point. So she's drinking. Has William made his presence felt yet?
I'm here. Sorry, I snuck in with Dante.
Yeah, I thought
your instruction was to make sure I wasn't followed. So, I took that and then added a few.
yeah, that's it's all right. And as you're watching this, the guards disappear, come back with body bags, and they start. As this conversation goes, they start to pack the bodies up, and they help Miss Wallenstein to carry the bodies out of the back in the body bags, and then I'll start to clean up, basically fold the sheets up as you're doing this. And the Marchese turns to you on his seat and says, I am glad you came, and I apologise for the little show, as I had to make a point of these gentlemen the price of failure. They were responsible for the disappearance of the journalists in Switzerland, rather than just scare her off, as they were ordered, they managed to kill her instead. Before you ask, I'd rather have them disappear than answer questions from the police, as they would talk, and I do not want to answer any difficult questions at the moment. I now have a problem of dealing with the inspector in such a way we do not attract more attention to ourselves. I gather you're working on a way to deal with the inspector, though it would be nice to get him to return home to Italy where he can be dealt with more easily. I do appreciate what you're doing, and could you give me an idea of what you're going to do about the inspector currently?
I'd actually like to give him some information enough information for him to go look somewhere else. I've had a bit of surveillance done on him and a report provided from a private detective agency who won't be linked to anything, but essentially he's being watched by the FBI, local FBI and local San Francisco police. So it's my estimation that it would be incredibly problematic to get rid of him, and therefore provide him with some information that will take him somewhere else. I would say would be a reasonable way of dealing with it.
I tend to agree, or put him in the direction of Italy, back home,
or Switzerland. I don't, as long as it's out of America.
Exactly.
You might know more information on that score.
Well, in Italy, I will have a lot more clout than in the States. And he sort of smiles.
Do we have any more information about the journalist herself and her life? Is there any other aspect of her life?
Her dad's a politician.
Indeed so.
Is there something else that...
Not as far as we know. She is all I know is she's a freelance journalist.
We make it look as though her disappearance was something to do with her father.
I don't think that would work in so much. As you said, Pierre is sort of implicated in it, as in by being the last person to talk to her. And I gather he knows that I exist, or that I'm there.
We have seen photos that he has in his possession of you with Pierre at a cafe.
Yes.
Have you got any evidence about what the conversation Pierre and the journalist had? I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, he didn't. He only has a photograph.
So, could they not have just been friends having a cup of coffee?
Oh yeah. Oh.
Is there any way, and I know this might sound mad, but I mean we're not far from Los Angeles and they can do backwards things and make up. Is there any way that we can make the journalist reappear in Italy? Even if it's only for like a few days?
Hey, can't the fiends do something like that?
Fiends. Oh, you mean actually physically change people's, form? They can, but
we knew with the meat suit it wasn't based off that.
Plus, wasn't the case? He says they happen to be still Sabat, or most of them are, and Sabat are still extremely difficult to deal with, and I rather not. But you have ideas, and a lot of them seem, how do you say, interesting, and are along what I think we would do. As I said, work it out for yourselves. As I said, the only thing you don't want to do is bring attention to yourselves. You can make it as simple as fancy as long as you get him back to Italy. That's all I care. And I will be very grateful to you all if you were to do that.
You know, if he was to leave for whatever reason, another inspector would come and take his place? I was thinking an alternative to an alternative way to feeding him misinformation could be to effectively get him arrested for something by local police and get him shipped back.
That would work.
The FBI are keeping close tabs on him.
But that might still mean somebody else comes out. The point with this guy is he's basically respected as an honest policeman. So the likelihood his actual word carries some weight. So that would be far better if we send him somewhere else and he believes that's the best place for him to be, and there's some reason that takes him obviously away from here, then people will believe what he says if he believes it. So I think as long as the misinformation is creditable enough, I think that's the best way. Feed him what he needs to know, really.
He is only a human. We can convince him of whatever we want, so we just need to make sure that the lie is good enough to stand up.
Yeah, I'm still under two minds if you go if Pierre went.
Dominate might only work if you believe that you're good enough to do it, and that there are no issues. If you actually give him some information, it's infallible in the sense that if the information is, should we say, reasonably correct, then he's going to stand up to any sort of
scrutiny.
Yes, himself, and being who he is means that he is more likely to be believed.
So he's just looking for Pierre at the moment, right?
He's actually, from what I gather, is he knows that I'm here, and he knows Pierre's here. As you said, originally we thought leaving he would go, but that's a risk.
We could catfish him with Pierre, not in that context. I mean, have someone claiming to be contact him, spin him a yarn about being afraid for life, and lead him off to, I don't know, Los Angeles or something.
But essentially, if he then doesn't find anything that he wants to hear there, he'll come back.
Yeah, but
you're only delaying that point.
Although that would give us time to come up with a better solution.
Lead him on a wild goose chase. What we could do, says Marchese, we could see if he'll disappear, if Pierre disappears to somewhere like Los Angeles. It's a risk. He sort of smiles.
Is there nothing that you can actually give him that would, I mean, something real that would actually give him the reason to go? I mean, is there something that Pierre is hiding, or
no,
or she shouldn't say or can't say? But
she was the last to talk to him. She was basically there to pump information.
And what I'm trying to say is, if he wants to speak to her and she's got nothing that she can really give him that makes any difference to you, then why not just let him speak to her?
She might. She's like DeLuca. She hears a lot. So saying that, there are ways to, make her forget. manipulate her memories. That might work, but it would need some time to set it up.
Well, in a sense, that's better than doing something to him, because
It does have the danger of burning out her hard drive, so to speak. If you poke around too much, humans don't come out the same.
But it might be a solution.
it depends how much she needs to tell him.
All she needs to forget is what she's heard.
Well, that's probably less than interfering with in actually giving her something to believe. One's more active than the other, isn't it? Removing certain details from her and allowing her to speak to him basically is probably easier than trying to create a situation and implant it and then have her recite it back to him, because essentially you might not think of everything, and therefore inconsistencies of what's going to tweak his mind.
Though she was set up to sort of point her in direction of Switzerland. It might work.
Wouldn't it just be easier to, I don't know, get someone who is a reasonable likeness of the Gabrielle, get them to appear in Italy, put a load of pictures on social media, and then just bounce around the world for it?
And I'm not saying that's necessarily wrong.
Gap year.
But the point is,
it's a lot of
at some point he'll come back, because this end is a loose end. He'll not give up a loose end. He's an inspector. He's a very honest one. He's not. We need to tell him something so he believes that this end is a dead end, and therefore he has to be somewhere else. That's my four-penneth.
I actually like the idea of what you said, Mr. Manticore. As you said, it's more removing memories from her and leaving the conversation there, which she was sort of pointing towards Switzerland on a wild goose chase anyway.
But you can do that afterwards. You can have different people turning up all over the world if you want, but the point is, he's not going to come back here.
No. So I can start that. And I'll come up with a story, fill in the gaps to what she was saying. I could even make her she was worried about what was happening in the bank, and that's why she sent her to Switzerland to talk to someone who would know more.
Well, it helps if there's a root of truth in all of that.
I can make her believe it's the truth. That's the easy bit, and it isn't far from the truth. She was going to send her to Switzerland, where the plan was just to scare her off.
Does the inspector know which bank? Could we make it out that she was speaking to him as somebody who knew banking in general as a source rather than
I think he knows which bank it is. Yes.
May I ask you a question? Okay, so I know you said you didn't want questions, but it might be important.
Yep.
The three men that were in here just a moment ago,
Yeah.
did they do anything with the body? Do you know? Because the inspector's report identified that
There was no
missing
body
from the
found.
vehicle. Yes. and it just seems like something's missing there.
This is true.
Besides the body.
Yeah, I suppose the other thing, just to go on that point, if she's not dead, if she is actually somewhere, then it still doesn't mean they'll come back here.
No, it's very
Because
true.
you haven't told anything wrong other than what was actually reasonably happening at the time. It's still a dead end.
Oh, that's irritating. Could have done it all.
You have, was it timed, was it doing that, but no, was it I wanted to get the business sorted quick as possible. If the body's found, the body's found. But as long as but there's no, was it there's no witnesses, no, was it believe me, they won't find the bodies.
Well, it was a strange thing anyway, because there was no DNA in the car, there was no physical evidence of her being there. The car was clean. So...
Interesting.
It seems strange that the 3 men you hired would be capable of achieving such a feat.
Well, they said they did.
Or were dominated into saying so.
There is that possibility. But as long as we get the inspector, we can work out what else went on at a later date. Right. So, right, I could set up my, was it a pier, and I'll sort that out in the next few days. And then once it's been done, we'll see if the inspector, disappears or not. So I'll put the wheels into motion for that. And thank her, and I said, your help has been appreciated and will be repaid in the future. Right, I think that's all we need to discuss on that matter. We do have a few other matters to discuss, especially with the end of the meet and greet yesterday. I am still mystified what that was about. Can you enlighten me, Renata? And Mr. McLeod?
Watch it, guys. Are you standing on plastic?
You're not standing on plastic.
Well, based on Renata's reaction, I think Renata has realised who he was, but simply put, he was an infernalist that Renata and I helped trap in Cairo, and he was captured, so we believed, but now it seems he is free once more and seeks some form of vengeance.
And Dante, sort of wrangled him out. And Dante, next time you talk to a noble, even if they talk down to them, take it. If that had been a Ventru prince, he would have killed you. Do you make myself clear? And he stands up and walks up to you. And as a noble myself, I can get as annoying, and I can talk down to people. Do I make myself clear, Dante?
I'll bow my head. I'm sorry, Marchese.
We are arrogant. We do talk down to people. It is what we were born to be. And he walks back to the chair. I believe he will not do anything yet, but I will warn you from what I can gather, he's nicely ensconced in the city. He has the ear of the Prince Pro Tempore, he has status and currently a full member of the Camarilla. So
Fine, for starters.
it doesn't matter, it's the perception that matters. Remember how the Camarilla works, it's on appearances more than actuality. Do you think that most vampires are who they say they are? Some lie.
Miles.
God, we're all something. We're all somebody else.
At one point. So if you do anything, or himself do anything, it will have to be done circumspectly rather than openly.
I mean, I do have the number of the chap who we called Cairo to get him handed over. I don't know how far his reach is.
He might be able to aid in putting us in contact with someone of relevance.
Well, he would probably be pretty peeved that he escaped, so I'd imagine they would.
PB escape. Who did you hand him over to?
We can check my notes.
Didn't have the
Some
Sabbat
kind of
Inquisition.
bar.
Or was that something different?
No, you wouldn't know Dante, but the other guy should. It was the Sabbat Inquisition. And what's the Sabbat up to at the moment?
They're busy in the Middle East. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't know. I've been in New Orleans.
It wouldn't have escaped you, was it, Renata, that a lot of the elders, even in was it New Orleans, have disappeared. Hecate are free of such of the calling. Yep.
Yeah.
It
There's
is.
a big Camarilla versus Sabbat war going
Yeah.
on in the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and
So the chap in Cairo might not answer his phone.
no. This is something for you to deal with. It's up to you how you deal with it, but one thing I will say, if you bring the clan into it, if you bring disrespect to the clan, that means all of you, I will not hesitate, to do something. As you said, you've just seen the price of failure, and would you really want to stand there and meet the Nagaria again? Oh, and for those who don't know, those vampires eat flesh, and even less human than most Hecatars are.
So would you prefer that we just stayed out of fate trials?
I don't think he will stay out of your way at some point. But there's not a lot he can actually do, because all it was a spat. But it doesn't mean he won't do anything in the background.
Yeah.
And I would also, watch your back with Prince. It's you.
If the Prince gives blessing for something to be done about us, then
Yes. There is that.
Don't we have a member of our clan who is well in the Here.
We didn't have a very good meeting last night.
Well, no, but
Though that might
be expected.
be sorted at some point. At behest of a certain Mr. Dunson. So you may call on them.
I mean, this is probably more a question for the lady in the Austrian prince from here, would he be particularly bothered if he knew who St. Charles really was, or would it not alarm him?
It's your word, an independent, against someone who is part of the Camarilla. Who do you think he's going to believe?
Apologies, what is he exactly?
Explain. Yes, Renato.
Philip's just asking.
Oh, sorry. Well, he's saying that he's St. Charles Sebastian de Four. That is not his real name. He is actually Theodore Saint Nectaire, and we first came across him in Cairo.
And
I think I'm going to actually have to go and grab my Cairo notes because
Yes, it is
I've met this character twice and need to check what I know and which
I remember it.
The short version is that he's an infernalist, and we arranged a meeting with him in a park in Cairo. But that meeting was an ambush that we set up to effectively hand him over to some Sabbat Inquisition.
do you have any proof he's an infernalist?
I can't remember actually how we know that he's an infernalist.
You got told.
Okay, so you have... So this is effectively hearsay of hearsay from the prince's perspective.
No, it was solid in Cairo for sure.
I think one of them...
We haven't handed over somebody who's innocent of the charges, don't worry about that.
Yeah, he did actually point this out in a very circumvent way, if I remember rightly. Or to be exact... Yeah, go on.
The first time we met, we were accosted. So, the first time we met, he threatened Renata with blackmail of the knowledge that Renata and the Marchesi were Giovanni, because we were there in Cairo under the pretense of not being Giovanni. And as we were leaving that meeting, Renata and Alexander, one of our other companions at the time, were stopped by the Inquisition members who were trying to capture him, and we were basically stuck rock and hard place between this infernalist threatening us and the Sabbat Inquisition members threatening us.
So your evidence that he's an infernalist is because the Sabbat told you?
They wanted an infernalist, so you gave them.
You actually gave them two.
That's not really my point. Do you have any evidence that he's an infernalist that we can give to the prince, which wasn't the Sabbat saying so?
That's your...
They don't have t-shirts saying I'm an infernalist.
No.
So no one actually saw him conjure anything. No one actually has seen him with anything infernal. No one has actually seen him do anything. So what was your source that actually said, oh, he's an infernalist? How rock solid are they?
Now that you outline it like that, looks real bad.
So you don't know then, basically. You were just told and you believed.
Right thing. He was a bad man.
We're vampires, we're all fucking terrible. What's
At some
point?
Marchesi laughs. Just that some are far more
worse than
terrible.
others.
Yep. especially if he was Sabat. If he was Sabat, I don't think any of you have met Sabat, other than I think from what I gather Renata and William. Sabat don't play the Masquerade, they play other games. Vicious bastards, the lot of them. Not
Well, that's
good.
Good enough reason. It's a good enough reason to get rid of him anyway.
Okay then. Sorry, Renato, William. Sorry about this. Do you have? Is there a way to prove he was Sabat at all?
I don't know.
Problem with Sabats is that occasionally they can look much like us. Especially now with the little Zomba and the other Sabat clans coming over.
Did the Sabat Inquisition either ask for him by name, or did they know who he was? If they took him and, you know, in terms of they knew that he was, they wouldn't question it, would they? Because they already know.
Yeah, they knew who he was when they captured him in Cairo.
But were they actually? I mean, we weren't there, so we don't know. But were they capturing somebody to keep rather than to expend?
I don't know. I would presume the former if he's still around.
I
Unless he escaped before they were
believe.
able to execute him.
I believe. Matches the Camarilla. They kill infernalists. Never met one and don't want to. I'll rephrase that. I've never knowingly met one yet. You do have a problem, don't you, ladies and gentlemen? As I said, it's for you to deal with, as long as you don't bring the clan in. Or whatever. Was it? Do what you was it need to do. Now I need to go as I have business to do. Now you can go.
I had one other topic I wanted to raise, Marchese.
Before you go,
Possible.
indeed, I'll allow you.
Thank you. Do you know about the Black Madonna?
Ah,
The reason I raise this is because one of the members at your party yesterday claimed to be here on business and is hunting the Black Madonna, and I wanted to know where you stand regarding his business.
Wasn't that the harbinger of Asher?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.
Ah.
Rose.
the masked gentlemen, yes, they do tend to wear masks. Black Madonna. Yes. We believe it could be one of our own clan. And if it is, we'd rather have them back rather than
That's
dead.
what I thought. That's what I thought. That's why I asked the question.
It might be worthwhile to, talk to this gentleman. Or help him. It's just a feeling I get that it may be someone closer to home. Because
Renata and I have spoken, and we have the same theory.
if I remember, your mother, was it Renata, disappeared some 8-10 years ago. From what I was told, she killed the Bastet in the process.
Yeah, so I very much think that she's very much made up of herself. And I think that's permanent.
Indeed so. as I said, from what I gathered, her behaviour was extremely strange in Cairo and extremely worrying. And in New Orleans, she hunted. She's never hunted before. Not for the time I've known her. She's been like you. So it's up to you what you want to do with the Black Madonna. If I think what it is, I would like her back in one piece. I do not want to lose any more of my children. I've already lost 2 already. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, ladies and gentlemen, would you like to say before you go? Nothing?
Nope.
Then you may go. Right, do you go as a group?
I would suggest that we don't.
Do you leave as a group out of the building? He expects you to do that much. He's sort of sitting there expecting you to go.
Alright, go. I go.
We'll leave.
I give him a nod and
I
go.
know when I'm not wanted.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, Izzy.
As you go and first one of you grabs the door handle, he pipes up. Before you go, I will give you a warning. If any of you think of using the current situations with the inspector to your own advantage, it will be you on the plastic sheets, and you will meet the Nagaria. I hope I make myself very clear. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Never intending to, so I don't even know how to use him, whatever, but I wasn't thinking of that anyway, so.
I don't like the plastic. Carter just walked out.
Oh, cool. That was a... Yep, you're outside, was it, with the guy in the alley. It's up to you what you want to...
I'll get on my phone. Well, are we doing anything else now, or are we breaking up for the evening? Doing our own thing?
Well, you actually get your phone starts to ring.
Oh, right, okay. Answer it.
It's this is Mr. Winters. Would you meet me at the Dowry Monument, Union Square at midnight?
Can do. Why are you going there?
It's a public place.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see you there. What time?
Midnight. Then he disconnects.
I'm not happy about that. Oh dear.
Is this a phone call you need help with, or if you're alright?
I'm not sure. I take it was Josh. It sounded like Josh.
It sounded like the guy you heard. Let's say Lee, the guy who was. It sounded right. And someone else is your phone on vibrate, William?
Yeah, always.
Yeah, yours is vibrating like it was proverbial at the moment.
Alright. Has it been going all that meeting?
No, only it should start ringing.
Alright, I will answer. I'll find a quiet corner to poke poke myself around and pick it up.
Basically, a familiar voice at the end says, "William, we need to talk about what happened last night at the party. I'll meet you at the entrance of Coit Tower on Telegraph Hill Boulevard at 12:30.
Is this Mala?
Yes.
Excellent. I'll see you there.
Yep. Yep. And I
That
think
definitely didn't sound like Josh.
that sounded like no, it didn't sound like Josh. It sounded like the guy you met last night. That was not Josh.
No. But it's the fact that he called me Mr. Winter.
Oh no, his name would be Christian de Winter. I think you got the wrong end. It's his name is Mr. de Winter.
Right, okay.
Kristen Winters.
Okay, that
Yeah.
I thought I was getting another call then. So.
No. This is William
Well, I
appears
already
back.
queried it anyway because those instructions I've given to Josh. So
No, it wasn't him. Definitely
no,
wasn't
okay,
him.
that's fine.
No, I know what you mean. No, it definitely was not him. But I know what you mean. It's the Winters that doesn't help.
No.
No.
Well,
So,
Winter would have been good from the right person.
yeah. Okay. So, three of you have got meetings. Are you going to stand outside for a bit and make your separate ways back to town?
Philip's going to immediately start walking away in a random direction
Yeah.
to make it less obvious.
Yes, because you've got to be somewhere.
Yeah, so I'll just walk away for a bit and then get a taxi
Yeah.
to a location.
So they
Can we
will.
now to get a lift with Dante back to the city, please?
Yep.
William will do a very similar thing to what
I'll
Philip
offer
did.
a lift to William if you need one as well.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean you'll get back to town in some distance quickly. It's going to be close because by the time you get back, it's going to be about
Yeah.
11:30. You've
Okay.
got it.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll head straight to the Coit Tower. I'll let Renato where I'm going now.
It can even drop you there.
Oh, would you be willing?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Except.
I do have some cars on order, so hopefully this won't be a problem.
And was it? I think was it. Felix has also got to go at some point. How Felix? You took a taxi, didn't you?
I did. I'll just recall the same firm.
Yeah.
And get them to pick me up fairly close to where I was before, but not the same place. And then I'll go straight to the Salon de Délices. De Délices. Yeah. C'est natural.
Oh, to.
Well, that's Mr. Winter's gallery, isn't it?
Yeah, you were supposed to meet at the Union Square.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought he said. All right.
No,
go
he
to
said the Union Square. What was it? Union Square. Where was it? Oh, what's it? I should find this. The Dewey Monument. It's actually a monument right in the middle of the Union Square. So that one's a nice, easy one to find. It's a tourist thing, so the guy will know where it is.
Okay. Fine.
William will actually get there fairly quickly. Right, this is a bit where you'll probably disappear in separate bits and pieces. One more thing I need to do. the right one. That's it. And that's the last bit done. You forgot something, Renata. Oh, yeah. Right. So.
That sounds ominous.
Would you be able to drop me off somewhere near the hotel?
Yeah. I'll just put a flashing yellow light on the top, saying taxi. It's fine.
If you're going to be snarky, I can buy you a car.
Okay. I will continue to be snarky.
Bribery and corruption works every time. Dante gets a car. Right. So you various guys.
Or do you have a preference?
I'll get you a list, don't worry.
So as far as Dante is concerned, you get dropped off at your hotel, and then you go to the Coit Tower, where William is dropped off. What does Dante do after that? Does he use it?
I will probably. Would Renata have asked him to wait?
No.
No, no.
I would probably go. What time is it?
It's around midnight.
I'll go to the hospital for a bit.
Yeah. So Dante spends the rest of the evening in hospital.
That sounds really good.
I'll go do some emergency surgeries and just save lives because
Yes, you can.
Because I can.
Yep. Now you can go and you're going to be right. Okay. Right, we'll start with, I think the earliest one will be, we'll start with Felix first and his meeting in Union Square. So so you guys can go and talk to yourselves while we do this. Right, so, and you can plan what you want to do. Right, Union Square, you know the place, and the Dowry Memorial's right in the centre. It's basically a pillar, I think it's to do with the war. And you see the familiar figure of the large gentleman, to do with the gallery, the guy you met the night before.
Yeah.
And he sort of looks at you, seems to walks up to you, puts his hand out. Nice to see you, was it Mr. Manticore? Let's walk and talk.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
I'll get right to the point. I'm a little disturbed by the behaviour of the committee Charles after last night's party. He's acting very out of sorts and strangely. Do you happen to know what the disagreement was over?
No, not really. I know Dante and Renata have understood or met him in former life somewhere else, but I'm fairly new to Behekata as a companion, so I'm not particularly well up on any of their histories, to be honest.
No, was it so you're as was it in you're as was it mystified as myself what's gone between the two of them?
Yeah, I mean they've obviously met. It obviously looked quite like a serious thing that had a significant lid had to be rammed onto the top of it.
It did, and I had this feeling too.
More in the fact that obviously Aconte knows more. Well, it seems to me the Conta's the one with the beef. I think from what I saw from, I think it was more Renata than the other. She was surprised.
Yeah, it does
Or like
strike me. I think you have the same nasty feeling as I have. This whole situation is a powder keg which is about to explode if we're not careful.
Aren't you connected to the Conte? I mean, obviously you know him because you came with him.
I'm part of his coterie.
Yeah, so you must have maybe more understanding of that situation.
I have no idea.
Oh, right, okay.
It's a total mystery to me. As far as I know, I can't see any reason why he would know. Was it Renato or any of these people? All I know is...
See, my association with the encounter has only been relatively...
He said, I'm worried, but this situation may drag us into something we don't want to get involved with.
When you say we, who are you actually talking about?
Both myself and yourself, and the others within your group. But see, it does sound like if it does get to a point, we will be dragged in.
Dragged in with what? I mean,
I don't
point
know.
Is, you have to give me some context, because otherwise.
The Marchese he was angry. Not the Marchese. The Count was angry.
That was livid.
Yeah, but he has it in for both. Was it Renata and William for some reason?
Oh well. Yeah, I just took that as being sort of royalist, highborn versus lowborn thing.
It's
most
more.
People, I think, underestimate Nosferatu just on physical looks. I think that's a highly dangerous position to put yourself in.
Yes, but no, it's something more. It's just a feeling I get. As you said, I just wanted to discuss it with you just to see if you're getting the same from your end.
Yeah, but I'm other than the fact that I've got to say it's rather superficial at the moment. I don't know their histories, so I'm sort of very much feeling my way. Yeah.
Same
I
here.
would sort of, what I don't understand is why you don't know probably more than you're letting on in terms of how long have you been with the Count? Because the Count
only since 2017, 2000.
If you don't mind me asking, how did you become involved? You don't have to answer, it's fine.
Just I fell into it. He was made an offer which was suited what I wanted at the time. He wanted someone to get money. It meant a lot of socialising. He sort of looks down at his sort of large body, and as you gather, in my mortal life, I loved the socialising. So it sort of suited me, and still suits me, until now. And until this point, he was, how you say, very well mannered, very mild. You wouldn't have. Never saw him angry.
Well, obviously, to change colour that quickly, to go from, as you say it, calm, collected, to, well, it was quite a shift in demeanour.
Yep.
So
that's why I'm worried, if you understand.
I can understand when somebody proves themselves potentially to be not so much other than they are, but having a temperament other than
They
what you
had
thought.
before. Exactly. And so, as you said, you can understand, and you were the only person I knew out of the group. At the time, as you said, you were the only person that gave the card, the only one I worked. So, I thought you were probably the best person. Depends what you want to do from here.
Well, I suppose at the moment, not much, because the fear here is doing something in the wrong direction.
Exactly.
A load of people over. So I think we.
A watching brief.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe just keep contact every once in a while.
I concur totally. Because was it like us? Like I am worried what's going on. And then through, I deal with money. What I do not want to get involved with is messy. Was it messy things? If you understand.
I do. Unfortunately, I think that's our lot in. I was going to say in life, but in the present. And,
Indeed.
I think certainly I feel I'm treading quietly and carefully at the moment, just to make sure I've not allied myself potentially to somebody I don't want to.
I agree. So he said, I'll keep in contact with you if anything further comes up.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind at some point maybe seeing your gallery, just out of interest, and it might be an easier way to meet.
It depends if the he uses it as a haven. The Count.
The Count uses the gallery as a haven.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? Oh wow. Okay.
So we'll have to, was it arrange a meeting, was it other places, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Anyway, it was nice
No,
to...
it's fine. There's plenty of places in the city, it's not much.
Yep. I do appreciate you, was it, talking to me. And he sort of puts his hand out and shakes. And thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Let's hope things stay as they are.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be mutually
beneficial.
I was going to say defensive, but yes.
It means I can just collect money and you can do what you need to do.
Oh, we'll see how things go.
Exactly. And he sort of turns around and walks off.
Cheerio.
Yeah. Right, I'll put you back under there and get the next victim.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Are you paranoid yet? Nope.
Yeah.
I am.
Right, I need to talk to Philip, so I'll drag Philip down to the other one.
Sure.
Right. You're going to the pub, aren't you? Was it to meet with Ewan?
Yeah.
Exactly the same as before. He sort of meets you and takes you to a table. And like before, some gentlemen stand and make sure that no one disturbs you. And he sort of sits there and he looks at you and says, thank you for coming, was it, Philip? I do appreciate it. I will get straight to the point and ask you, what do you know the disagreement between the child of the Marchese Leonardo and the Comte de Charles at the end of the gathering last night?
Okay, question for the storyteller. I don't think Marchese told me specifically to not tell anyone this.
He didn't.
Awesome. Well, Ewan, We have certain testimonies that the Comte was a former Sabat down in Egypt. Now, this wouldn't honestly be much of an issue in the grand scheme of things,
No.
but there's also rumour that he is an infernalist.
That's interesting. Any proof of this, of these conjectures?
Well, supposedly some people claiming to be Sabat Inquisition. No, we don't have any evidence of this.
So it's hearsay. And what's his relationship with Renata and Dante?
They handed him over to the Sabat Inquisition. I'm not personally familiar with what that means, but...
Yes, I have a stinking suspicion. Aha. Right. And what's your view of what could happen between them, if anything?
Frankly, guy looked Toreador, right? So I'm expecting that he's probably gonna try attacking Renata et al. On a social level, right? He's gonna try and find where the Camarilla and Hikata overlap and make it harder for us to operate in Camarilla. Well, at least that's what I would do.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Only thing is, you're not directly involved with this. It's one of these difficult situations. There has to be a thought that will it affect the clan's position in unity?
Maybe. It depends how... I don't know what the Comte's position is in Camarilla. Maybe he's important, maybe he's nobody.
He has status.
Is he a... what's the phrase? Harpy?
No, he isn't. There is no... This city is unusual. There are no harpies, there are no sensuals, just a prince pro tempore and his archons.
Oh, what a shame. Well, if he has any stats in Camarilla, then he'll probably... I could see him dedicating more time to hurting us than we have time to stop him.
The only thing I can say, and I will say, is if you can avoid, how you say, don't do it openly. As I is thinking, if he is what he say he is, and thinking about it, he'll be as circumspective as yourselves, but he would not want to reveal who he is either. I think it's a watching brief at the moment to see what happens. I think is you know how to contact me. Just keep me informed what's happening.
So, out of curiosity, there was something I've been meaning to ask. What does Karsh want with us?
I don't know. Was it you were here on the behest of... no, you're already here. You mean as in the Giovanni?
Well, my guess would be that he wants to keep certain assets away from Ventru, but it still feels like a bit of a weird choice.
There is a little, I'm not sure was it Fei to why, but he asked for the Lanza to come back to the city.
Lanza?
As in Silvana, as in the Giovanni. From what I gathered from their from what I taught to them, they were asked to come back by the prince. So, as you said, it's interesting. The Marchese was its reaction to them, which will be fixed.
Do we have any idea why? No, I don't suppose we would.
No.
Do you know any good way to contact Ms. Lancer?
I could ask her to contact you.
It would be appreciated. It seems I'm not entirely in the loop.
I'll ask her to contact you and talk to you. She will have to do what I say, and I will point out you're the same family as myself.
Thank you.
Contact Philip. It'll probably be either today or, well, it'll be tomorrow, or tomorrow night at the earliest. Yep, so I'll arrange that for you. And as I said, I thank you for coming. Keep a watching brief of what happens, and keep me in the loop what happens, just in case it blows up.
I'll give you a call.
Thank you very much.
And I suppose Philip leaves.
Yep. Yep. And it's the rest of the evening is up to yourself what you want to do. Okay.
Alright.
It's alright. Yeah, we've got this is all separate. It's the way it's going to work at the moment. Everyone's going separate ways. And now I'm going to put you back with the other guys, and you can go and discuss what's going on. Okay.
Sure.
Right.
You know,
It's your turn, William.
I suppose maybe certain havens are probably known, but it's just. Do you see how it's sort of. It's a bit strange to come up to.
Right. You go to the bottom of the Coit Tower, and it's the same lady as you saw. Like she's using the same disguise as she used the night before.
Yep. I mean, William will be using Mask of 1,000 Faces to appear normal and boring to observers, but will walk up to her.
She sort of nods.
Quietly. William will nod back.
We'll walk and talk, William,
Sounds good.
about what happened last night between yourself, the companions, and the Comte Charles. That's assuming you want. I'm assuming you want to tell me. Though if you do, I may tell you something about the Comte in return.
Interesting. Very well.
So, can you explain what happened?
I can. You have to understand that I've only known you for literally 5 minutes. But
Of course.
what I can tell you is that Renata and I had a run-in with him in Cairo about... Was it 10 years ago, Andy?
It was about 10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, about 10 years ago. He threatened Renata and me with releasing information about Renata and the Marchese. And so, if I'm being absolutely honest, we were then accosted by some Sabbat Inquisitors, and they wanted him captured. They told us he was an infernalist, and in a matchup between two infernalists and the Sabbat Inquisition, our money was on the Sabbat Inquisition, and so we arranged a meeting with him. It was an ambush, and he was captive.
Ah, I see. So you met the Comte in. You met him in. Was it Cairo then?
In Cairo, yes. It was where we were staying for a period on the Marchese's behest.
Oh. I was always under the impression he's never been to Cairo. As far as I know.
Impression.
Well, from what I can surmise and find out about him, he is originally from France. Ile-de-France, Paris. And his family is based in France and has always been in France.
What?
So how can... Go on.
I was going to ask do you have that information from good source?
From one of our own.
Well, that would indicate good source.
Exactly.
I'm certain who he is though.
Though, saying that, no one seems to remember him in Paris. Not before 2001.
I mean, I could do a little trade with you here. If I give you the name I knew him by, would you be able to look into him?
I certainly could.
That would be very helpful. Checking my notes to make sure I give her the proper name.
You could actually see it on the screen.
In this about, of course.
Yes, and
We knew him as Viscount Theodore Nectar.
Theodore. I could look into that name.
I mean, he was accompanied by another person in Cairo, Luca, I believe. But I do not know what became of him.
So it's a potential infernalist. I'll have a look at this for you. I will give you back that he is a member of the Toreador, or at least acts as if he's a member of the Toreador. He is leader of a coterie called the Salon de les Supernaturals. I think it's the Salon of, was it Supernatural Delights, and it's somewhere in the city of San Francisco itself. His coterie has an artistic bent, consisting of various artists from an EBM band to a virtual artist who's slightly disturbed, and I will point out that he has some status within the clan and the city itself. He has the ear, as you might say, of the prince pro tempore. He has been, how do you say, a model citizen or a model citizen, whatever you call it. Model, was it a resident of the city? Caused no waves, has no political ambitions, more happier to wander around with his protege. I think I cannot remember his name, but the was it the gentleman that creates the period costumes?
The junior of the pair, Peter Henry Rushford.
Yeah, and there is, how you say, talks that the Comte is the sire of the latter.
Right.
He RPG, one is a child of the other.
Do you know when he was embraced?
Unfortunately not. They're rarely separated. And I thank you, William, for your candour and your things. And once I know, I will get back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do find candour is actually difficult to come by at times.
And as Nosferatu, we have a tough enough time as it is. From what I gathered from the disagreement, he was less than kind.
He was, but both Marchese and Dante, well, both the Marchese and I have told Dante to ease off a bit. The way I see it, I know what I am, but some other people may look down on others without realising what they are.
They always look down on us because of what we look like. But as we know, it's always a foolish thing. Good night, William.
Good night, Mum.
And she sort of disappears into the night. Right. Renata's going to be fun.
Dear, poor Becky.
No, she's gone to. We'll go back and sort all this one out.
Yeah.
Anything brought to the clan's door that actually shouldn't. So, I mean, to be honest, I think we are looking at a big confrontation where it comes to the context. He's not going to go away nicely, is he? You're not going to be able to provide him with a bunch of flowers and a box of chocolates and hope that he'll accept the apology, whether you want to give one or not. But the point is, he's not going to go down without a fight, is he? But it's the rest of the coterie that you can actually do something about in more subtle terms. And you never know, he might retreat once he's found that he hasn't quite got the backup that he thought he had.
Well, I mean, if we could freak them out more by peeling away and
We've all met up.
I think it's there are, shall we say, better manipulators than me. But the point is, if that's an inroad in terms of how we deal with that particular person, whether it's genuine or not, the point is it is an inroad, isn't it? To have a look at. If we're not that sure, I just can meet him every once in a while and just test the water. He'll either continue to bring me up or he won't.
Listening to us still.
Yes.
You've all met, have you, in the end?
Felix was explaining to us.
By phone at the moment, but
That's all right,
essentially, we could actually meet if people want to, but depends whether you've got other business.
Yep, Renata will be dropping in and out every few while.
Yes, I had an enlightening discussion. My clan friend, she advised that she confirmed that he is a member of the Salon de Delice Supernatural. She also advised me that the period Taylor, the young one, was his childer. And
Peter Henry
they are,
Rochefort.
yes,
That's
they
all
are
right.
rarely separate. I don't know if he could be a source of information, though getting him alone would be very difficult.
well, he won't get information out of the trial and error.
I'm more thinking if he's careless because he's inexperienced.
That would be an interesting thing.
I mean, Dante and I could go on a charm offensive.
That is, of
I
course, Nicky
volunteered
Luda.
Dante for this because he's not here. He's at home.
Nope.
I think I've actually, think I've got to the end of this tonight's thing an hour early. But that's not bad. They said that we've done everything we need, but as you said, you need to, if you meet, you can sit there and discuss. As you said, you've got a lot to discuss anyway.
Yeah, we can all meet up when we've done our hands.
Yeah, whatever yours, it's Renata, he's not answering.
Okay.
So we're getting cold shoulder.
No, this is something else. Ooh, there is something else that occurs.
I asked Marla to try and get some information on his history and with a bit of, some real history rather than the fake history, because apparently everyone thinks he's from Paris.
Not seen before 2001. Right. If you meet after.
Maybe he is. I mean, salt not hair is a
Yeah.
French name. He could have been written. Maybe he's created an identity.
There is this.
From what Felix has just said, I think we've unsettled him as much as he's unsettled us. I don't think he was like that here. And I think he slipped up back and he went Dante, goaded him like that.
What you just said there about rattling him, I think you're absolutely spot on the money. It's pretty much what he said. He wasn't expecting to see you there.
You might not have known if he hadn't been rattled.
Well, he would have completely got away with it if Dante happened to have been Dante.
Good job, Dante.
Well, I mean, honestly, hats off to Dante, because if he hadn't done, we'd have never known. He would have been plotting away in the background with us blundering around, wondering what the hell was going on. But now we've got a level playing field.
You have what? Yep.
So, I mean, I know that the Marchese gave you a hard time and stuff, yeah, it was very fortunate.
Wicked, it's a very naughty laugh.
And then Q's having the wicked laugh. Yep. Was it the point out he looks nothing like he did before?
Do you mean in terms of that he's got at least 5 layers of makeup on, or has he changed his facial features?
He has changed his facial features.
Don't forget, Lyndon Lee, if I'm right, it's a Samish. Could be not just his pictures, but he's in the code trickle.
Yeah. So he's quite literally changed his face, and the only way that he's in any way connected to his old identity is his voice, and he slipped up just once, and his entire life potentially could come crashing down around his ear.
which makes him exceptionally dangerous. Just on that benefit. If he spent the last 3 or 4 years sorting himself out, nice little corner, and then all of a sudden he meets you and William in a room and thinks, well, I presume it's, did you say it was Cairo? Cairo all over again. He's probably turning around and going, where's the Sabbat? He's probably expecting the Sabbat to walk in. Inquisition, hello!
Of course, that's was it that trying to think. I can remember the meeting. Was it personally, totally. And he's only one.
Yeah, there's a second. And we don't know what happened to the second either. Oh wait, hang on. I thought the second died, but I'm not sure. Let me check my notes.
You don't know. He escaped too, if I remember rightly. And I think he's the one that did most of the talking, not Theodore.
Yeah, he was.
Oh gosh, was he more senior? Crap.
That's it. They came as a pair. Cool, I can hear a lot of typing in the background.
Oh, I just found in my notes the day before we set up that meeting in the park, we met with the local prince in Cairo.
Oh yes.
And we kind of agreed off the books to let the Inquisition take him.
Yeah. That was Dylan's other character who did the eloquent speech in Arabic. Yeah, that was a. Yeah, he did it in Arabic, and got the prince on your side, basically.
Could we contact that prince? I don't know if he's still around or if he's not safe fighting. But
right in the middle of Cairo is middle of the Middle East.
Yeah.
No, as far as you're concerned, the Middle East is a non-starter. Oh yeah. And the Sabbat are still present in some cities. And you don't even know if there's any Sabbat present here. All you know is around the outside, especially those who live there. Was it territories like Oakland, or was it Anarch territory? And to be fair, Anarchs don't particularly like the Sabbat either. So I think that was it. I think we'll call it an evening at that point, because I think we've done everything I need to do tonight. As I said, I couldn't write any more as I didn't know what you guys were going to do. Anything you need to do in the background, put it into the chat. So in Renata's case, if you're buying houses and that, tell me you're doing that and I'll sort all that in the background. I've got to write some notes of where your various places are, and I'll sort out the XPs this weekend. And I'll just now stop the recording because I think we've got to the end.